Initiating podcast download. Prepare yourself. Put on your spandex. Lace up your boots. Wrap your wrists. Hide your razor blade. Head to gorilla position. Grease up your hair. Apply baby oil. Okay, apply more baby oil. Get into gimmick. Keep your ears open and your mouth shut. Have fun and be safe out there, brother. Welcome to Iron on Wrestling. Now your host, Gregory Iron.
Hello again, everyone. Welcome to another edition of Iron on Wrestling with Gregory Iron. I'm your host, Gregory Iron. This is episode 272. Boo-hoo.
That's a horrible rhyme.
Boo ba 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 ba.
Oh my God!
Ba 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 ba
Yes.
ba ba ba.
Stop.
It's back.
Stop. You thought I said boo-hoo, but I actually said boon-hoo because he sucks. No one
You guys
knows
just
or
blew
cares
it,
about
man.
him.
You blew it.
Wow.
I wanted to introduce the special edition year-end Alpacy Awards Iron on Wrestling podcast, and I was going to bring out our very special guest, the winner of the Extra of the Year award.
What?
Yep, the Alpacy winner. It was a lot of finalists, but only one man prevailed. Ladies and gentlemen, the Big Bear, the Bachelor, Benjamin Boone.
Yes, I won an Alpacy. I knew it. I knew I could do it.
Wow.
Two-time winner, actually.
Two time.
Do you want to thank anybody for your victory, Ben?
I did it all by myself.
Really?
Yeah.
I'll let Gabe know that.
Who's
Good to
Gabe?
see you.
No, you won't.
Gabe Sapolsky.
Who's he work for?
WWE.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Huh.
Yeah. You didn't know that.
I don't know. I barely even know who Gabe Sapolsky is.
All right.
Is he the guy that told Johnny to get a haircut?
He did, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Johnny grew his hair down to his butt at one point. And he specifically told me, I'll never forget, we're sitting on the computer in his room, and he goes, I will never cut my hair. And then, like, 2 weeks later, he cut his hair because Gabe said you would look more marketable if you cut your hair. And I said, wow, you'll just do whatever Gabe tells you to do, huh? And then he got real mad. He did a little mullet because at the time he was working for Dragon Gate, so that was like one of the little Dragon Gate hairstyles, and that was the deal.
Huh.
I wonder how Gabe would feel if he knew how many times that belt, that Dragon Gate USA belt, was just sitting on the floor, and the cats that were in Johnny's house were just roaming around it, doing god-awful things to it.
All that good stuff. Hi, Greg. How are you?
Good to see you. Aaron Bauer's in
see
the
you.
building. Benjamin Boone's in the building, and we're acting like we're just seeing him for the first time. But
I can't believe he's here.
We just recorded
I just walked in the door.
the bonus podcast first. We went about 90 minutes, and I would say that it's the best bonus podcast we've done in a long, long time.
I'd say Ben gave that episode everything it could handle. Nice and hard.
I would say he did for sure. Yes, like he does for his women. And listen,
All right.
Patreon.com/Iron on Wrestling, where you get a buttload of bonus content. And trust me, it is nice and it is hard. Hundreds and hundreds of episodes in the archives, including the latest with Ben Boone, where we talked about Saturday night's main event, what we liked, what we disliked, but we also talked about 40 milers in professional wrestling. We buried a couple of local guys, so you ought to check that out for sure. And
if you think that you might be one of those guys we buried, you're right.
you might want to sign up, because you know what? Like, investing in the Patreon is probably the most relevant thing you're ever going to do.
Nobody's safe. I expect to be getting a text from Traxler soon.
Oh no! What?
Oh,
no.
man, after you. you guys bury me?
Oh, I saw Traxler this weekend. He was very nice. He was in good spirits.
We love Traxler.
Yeah, good man.
Who doesn't?
$3 gets you in the door on the Patreon for the audio. $5 gets you the video. $9 gets you involved in the live chat, which we actually did this past weekend. You know, it was very, very nice. We were talking about Christmas coming up and, again, maybe burying some people, talking about some drones in New Jersey. We went all over the place. We even talked about some wrestling at some points. And, it's probably the preferred tier on Patreon, but also $25 enough to get something in the mail from the Howard Animal Steel package, which we're sending something out towards the end of the month. Technically, it should be going out this month, but the thing that we were going to do for our packages this month kind of fell through the cracks, so we're working on something else. But don't worry, you're going to enjoy it. You'll get it probably after Christmas, and you will love it. You will love it. Patreon.com/IronWrestling.
Or you won't.
Best way? Well, you could not love it.
You won't know until you sign up and find out.
That's right.
Best way to support the show, patreon.com/IronWrestling. But, of course, if you're listening for free, we thank you for that as well. iTunes, Spotify, wherever you download podcasts. Make sure you subscribe so you get alerted when a new show comes out. Leave us a 5-star review wherever you listen to the podcast. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. This all creates visibility for the podcast, and we thank you so very much. Today on the show, we're going to answer some of your questions from Patreon, first and foremost, but also from social media. And we might talk about some current wrestling news, a little bit of controversies happening amongst the wrestling world. But also, it's that time of year. It's the end of the year. And we haven't done it since the last time we had been on the show to do this at the end
I
of the
can't
year.
tell you the last time I've done it.
Seems like a personal issue. But it's time for the 69th.
I can tell you what, it wasn't nice and hard.
Well, we can't all have the skill that a man that gets all the poon has. It's the 69th annual.
Just recycling that old theme for the
Yep.
Tiger Driver trivia because
Repurposing.
I got nothing else. Yeah,
Sure.
repurposing. Thank
Yeah.
you. The next category. Can we do it right now? Right here, right now?
Here's the
With all these
envelope. Here's the
people?
envelope.
Well, hold on.
Ooh,
First
ooh.
and foremost, I wanted, to try to keep this strictly serious.
Oh no, I just picked all the winners. I picked the categories and the winners.
When is the last time you had an alpaca sniff your mustache for $5?
It's been a year.
Is
I
it-
try to get it done every Christmas.
Is it still $5, or because of inflation, is it almost like $7
No, it's
now?
shrinkflation.
Listen.
So they only sniff half of your mustache for the same $5
No,
price.
that's
What
not
a
true.
ripoff.
That's not true. He's lying. It's just like the Costco hot dogs, okay? It'll never go up in price. It's $5.
It'll-
Bro,
across the board.
you
It'll always
fucking
be-
love those. You freaking love those
Dude,
those
why did
Costco
you,
hot
like,
dog guys.
Censor yourself for saying fucking and then go friggin'.
Yeah, because I get scared about these things now. You worried me when we got demonetized for the time that I said fucking and freaking fuck.
Yeah, we
I
were bringing
fucked
all
up.
those pennies
I
on
fucked
YouTube.
up. I fucked up. I fucked up.
Whatever. Okay, so lay it out for us. So
Okay, well,
basically, you picked all the winners. We don't.
Yeah.
We might have some say so in this.
Yeah, well, you guys are allowed to argue your points.
I think there'll be
All
some
right.
debate, but
Well, I think with three of us here, it's going to be more than just some debate. I think it'll be a mass debate.
okay. Well, I'm
Wow.
sure you picked
Wow.
only serious categories, like I hoped that you would. So where would you like to begin, Aaron? 69th annual Alpaca Awards.
All right, let's go with okay. How about
Do we have like stock music to play when someone wins an award? Like,
yeah.
Nope.
Okay,
that works too.
The next Alpaca Award goes to Greg's favorite WWE Dolly of the year. Who's the best wrestling dolly that you collected this year or that's out that you haven't been able to get your hands on yet? I know my pick, even though it's, an award I made for you, for your picking.
Well, I mean, I think this year I got a holy grail. There was a lot of figures that I purchased this year. We're only going wrestling figures. Yeah,
Not Turbo Man?
I already had Turbo Man, but not the original. I have a re-release from Funko. I got a lot of figures this year, and I'm actually going to be doing a video this week exclusively for Patreon where I'm going to be unboxing some of the figures that I got over the last couple weeks, because the best gift that I can give is to myself this holiday season, so I bought myself a lot of figures. But I would say the best gift, the best figure that I got this year was my holy grail. WWF Hasbro, 1993, WrestleMania 9 gear, mail away, Hulk Hogan, which I got for a deal. Usually goes out of the bag for somewhere between $1,200 and $1,400, and I paid $600 for it. That's right, I paid $600 for a wrestling figure.
For a doll?
For a
Does it even wink at you in a
action
promo?
figure. It does not wink, not like the Alexa Bliss doll, but I would say that would be the dolly of the year.
Ben, since we're opening this up to everyone,
Because
what's your favorite
Ben knows
wrestling dolly?
extensively the dolls that I bought this year.
No, just anybody's favorite dolly of the year.
Oh, okay.
Because I've got one. I'll give you mine right now.
Yeah.
A Bobby Heenan doll. I just got from Greg as a Christmas present today. So that's my pick for dolly of the year.
What's a good figure?
It's a very
Bobby
good
the
figure.
Brain Heenan in a tuxedo, and he's got what appears to be a microphone.
It's
in
a
hand.
black tuxedo, and it's
Yeah.
one of 1,250 made by Epic Toys. It was actually a Black Friday release, a Chase figure, and they got it out right away, actually. I was pretty impressed with the shipping time.
Yeah, I love it. I can't wait to not open it and play with it.
Yeah, that's the best
That's
part
gonna
about
be
getting
difficult.
toys. It's just like imagining what it
I
would
don't
be
know,
like if
man.
you
I
took
got
them out
that
of
Johnny
package.
Wrestling figure over there, and I have an Eddie Kingston figure.
You for years you've talked about playing with Eddie Kingston and Johnny Gargano. You still haven't done it.
No, but I have the Dino Bravo. Oh my gosh, triple threat. Who do you guys think would win a match between Johnny Gargano, Eddie Kingston, and Dino Bravo, with Bobby Heenan serving as guest manager for who? Which one? Oh, he starts off the matches as Eddie Kingston's manager.
What?
But then he turns against Eddie Kingston. He joins Johnny Gargano.
Wouldn't it make more sense for him to be with Dino Bravo?
Shut your ass up. This is my toy wrestling dolly federation. You have your own. I've seen them. They're all in some kind of library case that spins like a watch case.
They're in a Timex watch
Timex.
case.
I'm
that
not allowed to
spins.
talk about my wrestling dolly.
Yeah.
Talk about your wrestling dolly.
Well, I don't collect as many wrestling dollies as you guys did, but I did score right after RIP. Psycho Sid passed away. I did purchase on eBay the Jack Specific Bone Crunching figure, sealed for $20.
Not bad. Not bad. That figure has some crazy
The day
eyes.
that he died. I got
Oh.
it like right before prices
I see.
rose.
I see. So
Well, I
he's trying
guess
to
you
profit.
win. Yeah.
He bought the figure and he's like, I'm going to resell it because I know this is going to go through the roof now that he's deceased. Pretty sick of you, Ben.
Master and ruler of the world right there.
Master and ruler of price gouging over here, Ben Boone.
Not like you selling dollies,
Johnny Wrestling dollies.
Johnny Wrestling dollies on the merch table.
Again.
With the tip jar
No. What?
and canned mushrooms.
I did once sell canned mushrooms at the gimmick table, and they sold quite well, actually.
Wow.
All right.
That's amazing
I
to
didn't
me.
know they were in my car. They'd been there for a few months. Brought them in. What were they selling for? Like $5 each or something? I really hiked up the price, and it was a good day. That was in Indiana. Canned mushrooms.
Of course that they would buy canned mushrooms in Indiana.
I don't know what you're trying to say. Anyways, what would you say your favorite? My favorite dolly was. What was your pick going to be?
I was going to let you pick this one.
Okay. This is the worst Alpacy Awards of all time.
You said that last time, too.
If you tune out of this podcast, I understand completely. And what else do we have here?
Hulk Hogan Lie of the Year. Ooh. The Alpacy. I want you guys to pick, too.
Well,
now.
geez, remind me what the fuck he said this year.
Everything?
There's a lot of them.
But I want to say that I would say that this was a lie when he said, should I body slam Kamala? Is she an Indian? How?
Oh boy.
Because that's a lie, right? She was not that kind of a, that was she's actually like from, she's got Indian ancestors.
I you know what? I would say the lie of the year was when he was talking to Logan Paul on his podcast, and he said that if Benoit could do the things that he did and people forgave him, I think they could forgive you for being a heel.
What about, was it this year that he talked about, brother, like I talked to Roddy, and then 2 days later, I got a voicemail from him, brother. Hey, Hulkster, walking with Jesus.
Yeah.
Walking with Jesus, yaha.
He did.
Yo, Mr. Dowdy, yaha.
So we all got our own different lives.
Because Hulk said, he's just like, I got a text message, but it was a voice text.
It was a voice text, brother.
Oh, the Alpacy for host of the year for a
Wait,
podcast.
you didn't even pick what was your Hulk?
They all win the Hulk Hogan Lie of the Year.
Because
it was going to be just me, but then I forgot you guys were involved.
So
now they all get one.
Who exactly are these trophies going for when like the category is like?
I'm going to send it to Hulk Hogan.
Really? So
Yeah.
3 different Alpacy awards.
Yeah, I mean,
So you're
that's
actually-
pretty good
so-
deal
so-
because considering how many lies he's told.
So you're costing us more money by sending multiple Alpacy awards for
Well,
one
I mean, the
specific
trophies
category.
have been donated. Like that one over there. You see that football one over there? That's going to be an Alpacy. That's a high school football trophy. But I'm
From
giving
Polk
them
High
away.
School,
Yeah.
Do you have?
scoring 4 touchdowns
Can
in a single
can
game.
you give us a breather and give us a real category?
Oh, sure. I
For the love of God,
sponsor of the year.
fucking really. Okay.
Now, for me, the Alpacy is a tie.
No, who would have thought?
Oh,
Wow. So we got to send fucking 2 out, right? Because that's the only goddamn sponsors we have is 2 of them.
cheapskate Greg.
Oh, you really you don't like our sponsors, huh?
I got no problem with our
They're paying our bills. So
Can you name
congratulations to our buddy Mike from TNT Health
Yes.
and our good buddy Juan from Weebly Designs of the Dead Designs on Weebly.
And who has Juan made designs for?
Everybody that's in or has ever been around a WWE or TNA or AEW ring before.
Not only
NXT champions, people like The Undertaker, people like the Young Bucks,
not only
people like David Von Erich.
is
Did you
this
say the
one-
Young Bucks?
Yeah, I sure did.
This
Wow.
is one of the worst episodes of all time already. But also, this is one of the worst live reads of all time. So I want to point that out.
Greg's match of the year.
So let me get this straight. We weren't trying to segue into a sponsorship ad. You just wanted to talk
Well,
for
now I'm
like
trying to get through
20
it.
seconds and then go back. I got you. Okay, continue.
Greg's match of the year. This is for you to pick.
My match of the year?
Yeah. The match that you had.
I would say the bloodbath that I just had.
Right? That's
last
what I
month.
picked, too.
There's a scar on my head for the rest of my life because of it. 440 versus 440 in Chicago for Ruthless Pro Wrestling. And Blood Buckets. I think it was an incredible visual. I think we told a great story. And
Ben, what was your match of Greg's for the year? Did you watch any Greg matches?
Well, I
Or
watched.
did you wrestle him at all?
Well, I didn't wrestle Greg at all this year
Not in the apartment?
at Whispering Pine Apartments.
Remember when Greg used to wrestle those guys in the hotel room?
that never happened.
Oh, hotel bed match, Greg.
Tony Zapanzik couldn't trick me, and he never
Banana
will.
on a pole match.
Yeah, the match where Greg bled and had the HBK Survivor Series 2003 blood.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we'll just give it to him. Also, why is Ryback eating a bunch of pizza?
Aaron has Ryback's YouTube on in the background, so I guess I don't know if he has a friendship with him. He's trying to get his algorithm up or something.
Greg hates it. Ryback has a food channel.
Fucking idiot. All right.
What do you want me to put on?
I once saw
I don't
this
know, I'd
man
like-
eat 3 grilled chicken breasts and a full Robert Irvine protein bar one time.
it's not even
Those
that impressive.
Robert Irvine protein bars are good.
They are very good.
That's not impressive. That's
Yeah,
like
That was like his
Yeah.
5th meal of the day that I saw him eat.
I guess that's only like that. The tops that had to be what 1,000 calories. 3 chicken breasts and a Robert Irvine protein bar. It's like 380 calories.
Did you see how big these chicken breasts were? They were big.
I didn't see them personally, but I can't imagine they're more than 200 calories a piece. A grilled chicken breast.
They had to have been at like 8 ounces a piece, at least.
We just ate 10 ounces of steak.
And then we watched a guy eat 70 ounces.
And then Greg took 4 donuts.
I'm not eating them now.
They're here courtesy of Holy Toledo, not a sponsor.
Yep.
I
Plug it-
could
now we're
not.
plugging- Let's do a whole commercial for someone that doesn't give us money.
Now, they weren't from Pit Stop Donuts.
I'm gonna kill both of you.
Your one-stop shop for
Yep.
snacks,
Yep.
lottery, ATM, and donuts.
So now we're plugging a sponsor for a wrestling promotion and a television show that's been defunct for 11 years now.
Which leads me to the meal of the year the Alpacy goes to
Fucking really? Meal of the year?
for what we had here
The
during the podcast.
steak and fries that we buy every Monday.
Yeah!
From third base.
Yeah! I think
Another-
we can all agree.
Another not a sponsor of the show.
We don't have to
They
say
could
it.
be. They could be.
I didn't want to
wish they
say
were.
them. I just want to say the steak and fries were the meal of the year for us. Although, that time you got that sub. The subs from the other place that's not a
Jersey
sponsor.
Mike's.
Yeah.
National chain. Jersey Mike's.
Hey, I heard they just sold out to $1 billion corporation. They're not going to be any good anymore.
Nah, that's unfortunate.
Yeah. Bushwhacker of the year.
Do you have one serious thing?
All right. You want a serious thing?
Do you want me to name a serious thing?
Yeah, I trust you more than Aaron. Not by much, but go ahead.
Wow.
And give it to me nice and hard.
Maybe I will.
I don't like you saying it like that. Continue.
I know. Now I'm interested.
All right, fine. Feud of the year.
Well, that's easy. Do you have choices? Do you have a pick?
See, he gives us this information, and we're like right here, right now.
He had
We're
no
supposed to just
follow-up.
come up-
Flabbergasted that I would ask him some choices for feud of the year.
Whoa, who would you
Okay.
pick?
All right, fine.
Yeah,
All right,
why
how
don't
about-
you come up with the shit?
Are we talking strictly WWE? Are we talking all of pro wrestling?
Mind you, I didn't come up with anything because you said you were going to do it.
And I said you want serious ones, and you said no, clown ones.
I didn't say that. I would never say that.
Let me go back to my text.
Don't do that.
Okay.
I think in the running would be Cody and Roman.
Mm-hmm.
I think in the running would be Drew and CM Punk.
Mm-hmm.
I think in the running would probably be
Hangman and Swerve.
Hangman and Swerve would probably be in there for
That
sure.
would be a contender, yes.
It doesn't win it for me because there was some weird flip flop, where we didn't know who the babyface was.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of that.
And also, too, if I may, just in their big blow-off match, if you burn down another man's house,
Yeah.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Why would you bring out cinder blocks and syringes?
Yeah.
It did feel.
It doesn't. It didn't fit.
It did not. No.
It was shocking.
If he would have went to that house, and like Swerve's mom would have been in there, and he would have taken a syringe and injected her with like chlorophyll, more like
chlorophyll, more like borophyll.
then maybe we could have used that later, But there was no syringe involved. It was just he should have set some on fire. But instead, they set Darby Allin or somebody on fire. Jack Perry.
Or if they have a promo and for some reason he's speaking with a voice box. If I don't win the title,
Jesus.
I will. Dramatic pause, looking at the voice thingy. Set myself on fire. All right.
I think there's something to be said about Bloodline versus Bloodline for feud of the year. I mean, that played a big factor.
Right.
Roman's return was a big deal. Solo really elevated himself. I think if you wanted to say, all right, listen, not as far as we'll come back to obviously the feud of the year in a second, but didn't really count for the wins category. But I think most improved wrestler, most unexpected ascension in 2024, I think goes to Solo Sikoa.
Yeah, I thought you were going to say the Ascension.
No, they didn't even really ascend once they got to the main roster at any point.
All right,
But
that's fair.
Wow.
I think Solo becoming the leader and becoming as good as he is on the mic and everything, as good of a character as he is, I wouldn't have called that for 2024.
Mm-hmm. So you didn't pick any women, though? You're against women's wrestling?
I never said that.
Oh, okay.
I never said that at all.
Yeah.
Maybe this is like a most improved category. I think
Okay.
solo would be most improved.
All right.
But to go to the feud of the year, I think without question it's Drew McIntyre versus CM Punk. A, because the matches were great, and B, the majority of that feud was carried by a guy that was injured for the majority of the year. It was all mic work and just like promos, and there wasn't that much physicality before they actually started working in the ring. Compelling. Wasn't supposed to happen. This only happens because Drew injures CM Punk in the Royal Rumble, and that changes plans for WrestleMania, which was supposed to be Seth and Punk. And, yeah, I think my pick is without doubt Drew versus CM Punk.
I agree with that. It was very. I liked how you laid that out. It was very, very old school.
I agree with that because I was involved with it.
Man,
I
screw you. I'm taking my.
Hey, the guy got extra of the year. He's allowed to.
Taking myself out of this.
I stole the spotlight, and I was like,
Well,
wait,
hey,
I'm in
a
the
serious
cell?
question.
Come
Why
on.
was there no Ben Boone T-shirts where you're like holding up your hand?
Honestly, you really fucked up.
I think I would have bought one. And I would have bought one for Greg for Christmas.
Maybe I'll make them for the boys. How about that?
Not another one of those.
I mean, I think you should sell this one to actual fans. Anyways, continue what you were saying, Ben.
Well, no, I was just gonna say that it was very old school, and how it came up by accident, just like what you said, but it came up very organically at the same time too, and it was given time to develop, which was great. So yeah, I mean, I would agree with Punk and McIntyre, and they had probably one of the best Hell in a Cells ever.
Yeah.
I'd say it's a strong top 5.
I mean, it helped that it had meaning.
Yes,
Which we
Yeah,
haven't had in
and
Hell in a Cell
I
for a
like that
while.
nobody had to fall off the cage.
because they relied on that for so many years. They just went to, okay, who's going to jump off or who's going to do the big dive off the cage.
Well, that precedence, was set in the first cell. I mean, the idea was to keep the guys locked in. And again, listen, still an incredibly classic match and set the standard for Hell in a Cell going forward. But from the get-go, the idea was you could fucking break out of the cell.
Yeah.
I mean, it wasn't there to contain anybody. It didn't. I mean, so...
The Punk McIntyre Hell in a Cell top 5, just because of the physicality, the intensity, the blood, because it made sense. It was just damn good.
Aaron, what did you think was feud of the year? Do you agree with the Drew and Punk thing?
No.
What?
Actually, I mean, yeah, it was great, and I agree with you guys on everything, except I had a different choice. And my choice was actually from All Elite Wrestling.
Excuse me?
It was. It still is.
Okay.
It is Big Boom AJ
All right. Well, that was a great show this week. Thanks for tuning in.
versus QT Marshall.
I'll have you know that between you and
Yeah.
Johnny,
Yeah.
because of you, there was a nice young man who bought my my bloody pants from the Chicago match a couple weeks ago. And
Oh, you're welcome.
my bloody armband. No, but the problem is, you two and your influence inspired him to do a review of the package that I sent, and to try to provoke me, this man is saying that he gave my package 5 big booms,
Yeah.
and then he proceeded to flex and go boom, 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 boom.
Well, that's my feud of the year. Also,
What makes it feud of the year for you? Just
because
out of
they
curiosity.
feuded, and it was in the year.
You like the build?
Well, look, dude, it got you so riled up that I didn't see genuine heat like that anywhere else. Wait till you find out who my wrestler of the year is.
Well, I think 2 out of 3 gets the nod, so I say Drew McIntyre versus CM Punk. But
Okay.
Can you play the music?
Ba-ba-ba-ba-ba.
There we go.
Do you want to do Wrestler of the Year now?
Yeah, let's do it.
Who you picking?
Big Boom AJ. Another from All Elite Wrestling. I think he came in. He was the best possible wrestler that we've seen come along in a while. And it's,
All right, so let's just get it
for
out of
me,
the way.
it's clear to me why he was number 471 in the PWI 500.
That's not true.
And why you were nowhere in the listing.
He was fake ranked higher than that, anyways. But go ahead, just get it out. Who would you want to pick for guest timekeeper of the year? Guest bell ringer. You fuck. Who do you pick?
There were a lot of choices this year.
Were there?
Yeah.
Okay.
But I would have to say,
Yeah, I don't think Mark Yeaton was around. So who are we left with?
I'm going to go with, hold on to your hat,
Okay. All right.
the
hold on.
Rizzler.
Wow.
The Rizzler. And also Rookie of the Year for the Rizzler.
Rookie of the year.
Yeah.
With 0
I
matches.
had never seen anybody ring a bell like that before.
So
And make a face.
So out of the children that actually did things in matches, like you didn't even pick
Josh
Big-
Prohibition's
you didn't-
daughter?
That was several years ago. You didn't pick Big Justice, who actually did a spear in the match that he was involved with. You picked the fucking kid.
Well,
who sat
Big
at
Justice
ringside.
isn't a rookie.
Hold
A
on,
lot of people don't know this.
really?
Yeah, he's been working a while.
So, but you.
He used to be in AIW, and he came out as RoboCop. I'll tell you, you guys were teammates
That was
with
Dick Justice.
him. Huh.
No
He changed his
relation-
name. He can't call him Dick
No,
on national TV.
no relation to this family, this circus of freaks.
Food of the year? I say it's a chunky chocolate chip cookie.
You don't even know what it's called.
No.
And I'm not even going to correct you. Because you know what? These motherfuckers don't even know what it's called either. They call it the wrong thing. Ben, who do you think is the Wrestler of the Year?
It's got to be Cody Rhodes.
Think so?
Yes.
Why do you say that?
Well, WrestleMania, he finally gets the big one.
Mhm.
Defeats Roman Reigns.
The big one like you would give to someone nice and hard?
All
or
right.
are you talking about a championship belt?
Yes.
Yes to which one?
Both,
Yes.
it sounds like. Yeah.
Were you nice and hard when you saw Cody win the championship?
Well, who wouldn't be?
Okay.
Hey, is Blue Chew a sponsor for this?
They're not.
Nope.
Nope. Yet another sponsor that we don't have. Well, we didn't plug the actual sponsors. But anyways, continue. Cody Rhodes finishing the story.
He finished the story at WrestleMania.
Mhm.
He's been having an incredible run with the WWE Undisputed Championship.
Sure.
With this year. Great matches with AJ Styles, Kevin Owens, Roman Reigns had the great. Yeah, I mean, and he had, and it might not be talked about as much. Him and Gunther, the Crown Jewel Championship match they had.
Yeah.
Very,
yeah.
very well done.
He had The Rock's first match in what, over a decade?
Something like that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I would say more so on top of all of that, despite the lighter schedule that many of these guys experience now working for WWE, I think he's on record to have the most matches out of anybody this year, and I think that says a lot about his work ethic. He's really taken over the John Cena role as far as doing all the press stuff and showing up early, leaving late, and I think that's very commendable, especially in an era where, I mean, Cody's not old, but he's not a young guy. He's 38 years old,
Mhm.
and to be put in that main event scenario week in and week out, multiple times a week, busting your ass, and I mean, some of the incredibly athletic things that Cody's doing. There's a lot of risk for injury. There were a couple times this year where we thought like, oh, geez, he might actually be freaking hurt.
And another instance where if you watch that WrestleMania 40 behind the scenes documentary that came out on YouTube,
Yeah.
they had a different plan. He was not going to be factored in with the Roman Reigns storyline.
He wasn't even going to be on the show, it sounded like. They were going to figure out something for him. Like, that's crazy to even think about.
They did the whole tease with Roman and Rock. Got a great reaction from the crowd, but then it got like the most dislikes on social media
Yeah.
ever that they put out.
Yeah.
So then
So much they had to take something down, right? They had to
They had to
shut
take it
off
down.
comments and
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it really spoke volumes. And again, to think that in 2024 we can have someone that is pretty much the definition of white meat babyface to be as over as he is, like doing the character that he's doing. I think it's a testament to how much the fans love and support Cody Rhodes. And I think, we loved seeing him come in for WrestleMania 38. It was nice to see him come back with the whole American Nightmare presentation. But what really solidified him, and I think got people behind him, is when he, that other Hell in a Cell match that had some meeting with Seth Rollins, when he takes off that jacket and he's got that torn pec and it's visible. It's a very visual injury. It's black and blue, even if you haven't had a torn pec, you can imagine how painful that could be. Again, there's just some things you can't fake. The rise and the staying power of Cody Rhodes is something that I think is incredibly organic. And for those reasons, I think he's the wrestler of 2024. Not fucking Big Boom AJ.
Well, we all are. This is a free country, last I checked. So
yeah, well, probably
we
won't
all
be for
get
much
to
longer. Yeah, we all do get to vote. Maybe some people should get that voting right taken away for sure.
Wow.
Huh?
Wow.
What?
I'm sorry you feel that way.
I'm talking about the Alpacy Awards, though.
You communist.
What?
Nothing.
What do you think? I'm Tony Khan?
I was gonna say.
What do you guys think is the worst feud of the year? Because I don't feel like there's any other pick other than the one that I will name once you guys name off yours.
The worst feud of the year?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I've got. It had to have been the one where.
Well, I think it's a tie actually, but go ahead.
Okay. I didn't like. Who are those dudes? The Revival? Or what are their names? FTR?
Yeah.
I didn't like them and the Young Bucks again. Them revisiting that.
Okay.
I could have done without it.
Yeah.
I'm just saying it.
You think that's the worst feud of the year?
For me, it was.
Okay. Ben, what do you got?
I'll be honest. I don't have anything. What do you got?
Really? Well, I think it's a tie. I think you got the Young Bucks versus Tony Khan and All Elite Wrestling. And I think that it could go either way. I think somehow one of the better feuds of last year became probably the worst feud this year. MJF versus Adam Cole. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
It's
You've
bad.
swayed me. Yeah.
The role reversals have been terrible. Not a lot of logic in what they've been doing. Unnecessary added layers that, it just doesn't do anything. It's prolonging the inevitable Adam Cole MJF match by having Kyle O'Reilly involved and having Roddy involved. Some of the reactions to the live segments have been next to silent. It's clear that all of Max's promos are pre-taped, and they're selling reactions to the pre-taped promos, and there have been rules changed and stipulations changed with certain gimmicks going into these matches and feuds. And again, listen, I know Max. I know Adam. I love them both. I don't think this is their fault. I don't think we even have to name what's probably the blame here, but it's just not a good situation. They're trying to make the best out of it, but again, there's too many loopholes, there's too many gaps in logic, and it just sucks because people love them as a tag team, and it became this, again, these are the best things in wrestling, organic situation where they were able to main event All In the year before in Wembley, and it was fun, exciting. You were wondering how the turn was going to go down. They bring in the whole devil thing to close 2023, and it just, Cole gets injured, MJF goes to make movies, everything is just snake bitten, and not very good. And, what can we say about the Bucks Tony Khan thing that has been said ad nauseum? Not a lot of logic. Again, we sold it for a couple weeks after a spike pile driver with a neck brace, which was no one wears anymore, that type of neck brace.
And also showing up at a Jaguars press conference, moving around happy, giddy.
In that neck brace.
With the neck brace, but moving around just fine.
Then he gets dropped pretty much, and all of a sudden Tony Khan's backstage in production again. We see this because they take the camera backstage gorilla, and then Chris Daniels is made as like the AEW official to make rules, but sometimes Tony Khan makes rules, and sometimes Tony Khan can talk over the headset and make rules, but then other times the Young Bucks can make rules because they're VPs, and it just doesn't make sense.
So the
Hard to watch.
Alpacy Award, it's got to go to one. It can't be a tie. So maybe flip a coin.
Really?
Which one would
'Cause
you
we gave
choose?
out like 3 for one category, but
Well,
okay.
He's coming
I'm
up
now
with a lot of
selectively-
rules for
now-
something
I'm
that
now
doesn't
s-
have any rules.
I'm now selectively enforcing this rule.
Oh man, Ben's cashing in his money in the bank.
I guess I'm gonna go because it's more prominent, it's lasted longer. I'm gonna go MJF and Adam Cole because it's actually
Then it's
more
great.
disappointing because it started out good.
All right, I'll go with that.
Then we'll go with that.
Okay.
Hey, you know what? Maybe off topic. Worst return of the year. What a way to end it. Tessa Blanchard. Listen. Personally, never had a problem with Tessa. I was around her when she first started. Okay. First time I ever met Tessa was in New Jersey, and
I was with you because she was wearing. Wasn't that the time I went with you and Greg, or with you and Zach? Because you're Greg. You and Zach,
Greg.
and like she was wearing a "Let's Taco About It" shirt, and she kept bringing that up.
I don't remember that. What I remember is the first time I met her was me and Zach were acting like me and Zach, and Zach was laying on the ground, and he's like, I need your help with a warm-up. And I said, no problem, buddy. And he's laying there on the ground, and so I started doing squats over top of his face as low as I could. And he kept opening his mouth every time I'd come down, and my back was turned. And then I turned around, like smiling, and Tessa's walking over, and I go, oh, hello. I'm Greg. Nice to meet you. We're just doing our pre-match warm-up. And she said, I see that. And at the time, I think she might have been dating Ricochet. I don't remember. Tully might have been on the show, too. I know there was definitely a show at Pro Wrestling Syndicate where she was with Tully. It might have been that one. But, yeah, I met her several times, and we never had an issue. But, like, listen, when she made that tweet like 4 or 5 years ago, and she said, hey, women should support each other, it's pretty cool when you do that. And then Chelsea came out with her tweet about Tessa bullying and saying the N-word, and
That was Chelsea that said that?
I think it was Chelsea that said that. Isla Dawn was one of the people that said that she was always a bully at the time. This was before, obviously, she was in WWE. Who am I forgetting? Someone else of prominence that I think is also currently in WWE said something. Regardless, whatever the case was, a bunch of girls came out right before speaking out, talking about what a bully Tessa was, how she like spit in people's faces, was disrespectful to them, blah, blah, blah. Here's my thing. I do believe people deserve a second chance. But as far as I know, maybe I missed it. I don't think it happened. Tessa never admitted any of this. She never apologized for any of it. She never addressed any of it. So apparently, according to the internet, and we know how accurate the internet is, one, Tessa says she has not signed with TNA officially. Two, apparently this is a non-wrestling person that agreed to bring Tessa back as a surprise. And three, apparently no one knew that Tessa was coming back in the main event, probably with the exception of whoever booked her and Jordan Grace. Because they didn't want people to get upset when they found out that it was Tessa. Now, I don't know about you guys, but if you think that people are going to be so upset that it's going to cause an issue, bringing in a particular person that you don't tell them, could you see that maybe is probably an issue you don't want to bring into the fold in the first place?
Didn't that happen not on the scale of TNA, but didn't that happen on a show earlier this year with Marty Scurll, where they withheld the fact that he was going to be there?
That was literally like a month ago.
That was a month ago?
Yeah, Destiny
Wow.
Destiny Wrestling, that nobody was informed except for whoever Marty worked with. Promoter knew, obviously. And then, it was with Alex Hammerstone. That's who it was with, because they did an angle at the end of the show, And then people started pulling out of Destiny, and I'm pretty sure of Destiny. If I'm wrong about
I
that,
think it was Destiny
Okay.
because I remember Aiden Prince.
Hey, bro.
not that Destiny.
Oh, okay.
But
Yeah.
like Aiden Prince talk about how he was no longer affiliated with Destiny. Alexa Nicole, I believe, posted about it.
Yeah, a lot of the
Yeah.
Hamilton, Toronto,
The Ontario crew.
guys, they were pulling out of that show.
They were pulling on, and rightfully so. Because I mean, but you said it yourself. Maybe it's different this time around. I don't know. Time will tell. But it's not a good look if you purposely withhold it because, people might not react the greatest to her.
What do you think, Aaron? You've been kind of quiet over there.
I only had good interactions with her when I worked with her.
Yeah.
So I don't know much about this other stuff that you're talking about, or spitting in people's faces and stuff. I probably didn't follow as closely,
Right.
as I should
It
have.
should be noted that the girl that she supposedly made racist remarks towards and spit on, they have since taken a photo on social media together within the last couple years.
Squash the beef,
This
or
person claimed that she forgave Tessa, but again, there's never been a statement released by Tessa. And I think, listen, when this shit happened 4 years ago, I think Tessa was like 23, 24, still pretty young, still pretty dumb. We all made mistakes in our 20s. So now that would make her what, 28, 29, maybe on the cusp of 30. I don't know. Like, I'm sure even if she made an apology, some people are like, fuck you, you can't make a fucking apology. You suck, you're fucking banned forever. But, like, I think that would be a better step in the right direction than just...
She's 29.
Okay.
yeah.
So
good-
there it is.
Good job.
So, yeah, man, I don't know. But I do think it's the worst return of 2024 for sure. So send that out.
I thought that the worst return was Aaron Solo. What?
I don't.
A tumbleweed blew by.
I don't. Why was that the worst return?
Because they didn't need him in that match.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think that QT Marshall had the match in hand,
Mm-hmm.
and that just kind of screwed everything up. But, when you're going against somebody the caliber
Just go ahead. Keep going.
of a big boom
I'm
AJ,
trying to no sell it, but I just.
Yeah.
You really don't like this guy, huh?
No.
Or the Rizzler.
Oh, he did a whole episode. He hijacked the episode about how mad he was
Listen,
at these
I
guys,
heard-
Hold
these
on.
Costco guys,
I
which I didn't even know who they were. We had to shut the mics off for a minute, and he had me ask my children who these gentlemen were.
I want to point out
These
something.
superstars.
Johnny tried to call me an out-of-touch old man
Mm-hmm.
because I don't like the Rizzler, and the Rizzler's the new hot thing, okay? And I said, you know what? You're out of touch because guess what? He saw a picture of Alice Crawley, and he said, oh, she looks like a goth girl. And I said, you think she's gothic? Have you ever seen a gothic person in your life? Okay, so who's the out-of-touch old man?
Well, that kind of screws things up for my next Alpacy Award.
Which is?
Gothic Girl of the Year.
Okay, well, you
Big
know what?
Al, Alice Crowley. You know what my favorite match of the year was?
Huh.
I think we all know.
Okay, Ben, favorite match.
Big Boom AJ
Ben, favorite match of the year.
versus
I think we got to bring it back again. Hell in a Cell. Drew McIntyre, CM Punk.
I would agree with that. I mean, listen, when it comes to emotion, I think we were all waiting for it. I think some people could argue Cody and Roman, but I just feel as in terms of like the long-term story, the build-up, and just the delivery. It was everything you would expect out of a match like that and more. I gotta say, CM Punk and Drew McIntyre, and I think a lot of people have been questioning if CM Punk could still go. He had a lot of missteps in AEW. He had a lot of injury issues. He had injury issues as soon as he came into WWE. But I think he proved all the critics wrong.
You know what? He wasn't even hitting his Eagle Boy clothesline. You know what I mean? Like when he was in AEW. Like
Yeah.
he kept slipping and stuff. It was just like, what do they call it? Snake bit right
Yeah.
from the get.
Yeah.
It seemed like there was just something wasn't right there.
Mm-hmm.
And whatever was wrong there, the opposite is happening in WWE.
Yeah.
And people say it's the environment probably, and that's fine. Maybe it was. Maybe he just was never comfortable in the first place.
Yeah.
But Punk has been the best, and he's been so entertaining to watch.
And yeah, I agree. And I think that's Greg. You said it, and how you could make the claim Cody and Roman was such a great match, and how Roman Reigns' reign as champion ended. Cody's story was finished. I mean, this speaks to not only CM Punk but Drew McIntyre of their skill level and how good this feud was.
Yeah.
Drew McIntyre's come a long way from being part of the boy band. What, the three-man band?
Three-man band. And even, to go the Chosen One.
Well, yeah.
With Vince McMahon.
Doesn't even look like the same guy.
Doesn't even look like the same guy. He looked like a child.
Yeah.
15 years ago.
Right. Hey, speaking of the Chosen One, that's part of what made this feud so good with Punk.
Oh, man, that was like the promo of the year.
Yeah, because we were,
Honestly.
nervous sitting here. When he said, who called you that?
Yeah.
What pillar of, good?
What beacon of virtue
Yeah, that's what I was.
called you the chosen one? And you could just see the smirk on Drew McIntyre's face because he can't say that name.
Yeah, and I was uncomfortable as shit.
Yep.
Oh, man, what is he doing?
Yeah.
The people are going to be so mad at him.
Yeah, man. Blurring the line between reality and fiction, that's what makes wrestling the best. And 2024 was a great year for professional wrestling. I think 2025 will be just as, if not more, exciting. But
Hey, I gave the final Pacquiao award goes to the Iron on Wrestling podcast for Podcast of the Year. Are we all in agreement on that?
after this episode, probably not.
How about one more Alpacy of the year?
All right,
It's
Van Vliet.
2024 year of the year.
Yeah.
You know what? Next year, I'll actually plan out the Alpacy Awards so they're actually good, and there'll be categories, and you'll want to listen to the
I
show.
got guest commentator of the year, too. At one, it was Paul White, No More BS.
Mm-hmm.
I think the moment of the year was him walking the Rizzler down to the ring.
But when we come back, we'll wrap up the show with your questions from Patreon and social media when we return to the special 69th annual edition of the Alpacy Awards.
The last edition.
Definitely the last edition.
Until
Iron Man
next year.
Wrestling. Nope.
It's over now. We blew it. Well, Greg, I know you're sad that the Alpacys are over this year. It doesn't seem like they were very over. But
They were with me.
you know who's over with me?
Who?
My good buddy Juan of the Ortiz.
I've heard of Juan.
Yeah, the Weebly guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's on it. And, he does designs. And I was just thinking about this. I was thinking about how, Ben, you're in WWE now as an extra. But you never got your match with somebody that was in WWE for years. King Kong Bundy. You never got two matches. You were supposed to have two matches.
Two matches that he still owes me.
And you're still upset about that, but the only time you're going to wrestle him is when you pass because he's dead. He died.
That's
And he's up in heaven.
what an excuse.
And he's on a cloud. Okay? And I'm thinking we could get a design for a T-shirt or a sticker or a flag.
Does the cloud have like the blue bar cage?
Yeah.
Above
and
it, like when
you're
he faced
there,
Hulk Hogan.
and you're asking for your rematch.
Two
and he's
rematches.
saying he wants it, and you're holding up 2 fingers for 2, and he's holding up 5. And you guys are going to wrestle, but to commemorate that match that will happen someday in the future, if you're good and get to heaven, then
You're good. Listen, Juan Ortiz can make any design you would like.
Living or dead.
A logo for your personal business, your big business, small business, some sort of design for a friend or loved one, some sort of, listen, if you had an idea that wasn't this design for Ben Boone, let's say, for example, you want a design where the back of the shirt said maybe, I came to town to pound. Front of the shirt said something about Boone gets the poon. Maybe it's like Ben Boone's old gimmick where he's like a bear and he's like kind of growling a little bit and there's like drool coming out. Well, you know what? I'm not even going to continue to describe the shirt, but you get the general idea. He can make any shirt you want, and not only has he done designs for people in WWE, AEW, TNA, New Japan Pro Wrestling, so many other places. His stuff's been on topic. He can make a design for you at a very reasonable price. And right now, if you contact him, mention Iron on Wrestling, you'll save $20 on your first design. So what the fuck are you waiting for?
Jacob and Eli Blue.
Contact Juan Ortiz and Of the Dead Designs right now. Go to their Instagram, Of the Dead Designs. Go to facebook.com/Of the Dead Designs, or go to the website. It's ofthedead.weebly.com.
Bastion Booger.
Because Juan Ortiz and Of the Dead Designs are bringing artwork to life. Hey, how's your life going as far as your health and wellness journey goes?
It's very bad.
Is it?
Yeah, but hopefully we'll be getting better soon.
Okay.
And once I do, you son of a bitch, I am going to get back on all the supplements. And I only know one place to go to for that.
TNT Health.
You're goddamn right.
TNT-health.com. But you know what? You don't got to get on all the supplements, just a couple.
No, I'll get on all of them.
No, well, that's not
You son
necessary.
of a bitch.
Ben, TNT Health just wants you to get on a couple supplements, okay? Like, you know, like Mike and the good folks there are going to talk to you. They're going to feel you out a little bit in, like, you know, a nice way, not like a sensual way like you would feel.
Oh,
well,
I'm glad.
we're not going to talk about that. But, you know, they want to make sure that you are hitting your goals. Mike's going to track your macros and all that good stuff and get you on the stuff that you need. Like right now, you know, I'm keeping it simple. I take a little bit of pre-workout if I need it. They got the Zoom pre-workout. I take
That shit tastes so good.
It's great. Creatine for my pre-workout so I can help with my pumps. I got glutamine for my post-workout for my muscle cramps afterwards and soreness. And then, of course, I take their organic vanilla protein, which is great to mix with water. I put it in my little bullet at home, and it all works out. So, listen, Mike wants to make sure that you're hitting your goals, but he knows you're not perfect, especially the holiday season. You might stray away from your goals.
He calls it sugar season.
Is that what he calls it?
Yep. I just talked to him over. I got it. I'll tell you.
He only wants you to hit 70 to 80% of your goals. And like I said, he's going to hold your hand every step of the way. Mike's there when you need him. And listen, anybody else, you'd have to pay them extra money for this type of service. But not Mike. Okay? He goes above and beyond the call of duty. So, it's free to look. TNT-health.com. Check it out. If you mention Iron on Wrestling and, type in our promo code, that's probably important because you can't, like, the computer can't do anything if you just mention our name. You have to type in the promo code IRONON, IRONON. You'll save 10% on everything you buy. So do yourself a favor. We're about to start a new year. It's time for a new you. TNT-health.com. Because at TNT Health, it's about your health today, not tomorrow.
And also their new slogan.
What's that?
Glutamine for your booty meat.
That almost rhymed. Almost rhymed.
Is that your hand I'm holding, Greg?
No. What are you holding then?
Oh.
Is that a corpse?
Okay.
There's all these inside jokes that you're only going to know if you go over to patreon.com/Iron Wrestling for the bonus episode that we recorded before.
I guess it's too late. We didn't even eat all the sugar. We're like on sugar highs. Yeah. I don't even do drugs anymore or drink.
Real bad. All right, let's answer some questions from social media. But first and foremost, of course, Patreon members who are going to get priority. And, of course, I don't know why I get Patreon members priority because, I got this fucking idiot Eric who's always asking something stupid. Like, can we ask Ben Boone or one of his personalities something? Of course you can, right? Is that okay with you?
Yeah.
Was that the question?
So,
yeah.
Is that the question? Well, I guess my response to that is I have more than one personality. And two, what does he want to ask me?
Well, you've played a number of characters. Ben, if you had to name all the characters that you've played on WWE television, could you name them all?
I've been, security, cop, EMT, a fan that ate KFC.
That might be your most memorable, except for your recent Hell in a Cell.
A Packers fan that almost picked up. Am I missing any?
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that one. Hey, what about the time? Didn't you post for Kevin Owens?
Yeah, I mean, you're like
you were a fan,
like different variations of like a different you were a fan who just happened to be shocked that Kevin Owens was about to do this dive, and you just happened to be there so he could put his hand on your shoulder so he could do the dive safely.
Right place, right time.
Yeah.
all the time.
I mean, I happened to buy a ticket
Benjamin Boone.
for Payback, and he was just right there.
Yeah.
That's all I could say.
I mean, and you've been in name.
In all fairness, when I saw Kevin Owens at SummerSlam, he asked me if I wanted to do a run-in in the main.
And you should have.
Well, I didn't think it was him.
I mean,
He has gotten in better shape than 10 years ago when I was doing shows.
He's
with
in
him
great shape.
Cleveland. Yeah.
legitimately though, Ben,
Yeah.
you've pretty much worked with, and I'm not even in you just happen to be in the segment. I would say that most of these guys I'm going to name, you really, really worked with in segments like physicality. Like I'm talking Triple H,
Mm-hmm.
Batista,
Yep.
Randy Orton. Have you done Cena? Right? You've done stuff with Cena.
Technically, yeah.
Over the Limit.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
Kevin Owens. So
Omos.
Omos. Eric asked, as a follow-up, can you ask the Booner about his all-time favorite character or personalities? I'm going to add to that. Do you have a favorite character that you did in WWE? And do you have a favorite... Don't count. I'm not going to count WrestleMania, so don't pick WrestleMania. Do you
Sure.
have a favorite segment or angle that you were a part of that you did?
I gotta pick the KFC. That was the most absurd.
You worked with Julia Hart?
I did, and Heather Reckless.
Did you learn from her? She show you how to
I don't know where you're going
eat
with
the
this.
chicken? I don't know.
So I will mention actually a couple stories in relation to that. The first was there was a producer that wanted me to pull from that to do another bit on the TLC pay-per-view, and this KFC bit I was messaged days in advance over attire and everything like that, getting prepped to go, and he was getting mad about it. He wanted me to do this other thing instead of the KFC bit, and another producer that I'm pretty cool with, talk to him, let him know that I'm doing the KFC bit, and he's gonna listen to him, not me, Yeah. So almost got backstage heat for being in KFC that I was booked for prior in advance. Wow. And then the other part, John Laurinaitis was overseeing this, and he weirdly made a mention of I think it might have been Heather Reckless saving the coleslaw when the table got smashed.
Okay.
I was like, oh, hey, save the coleslaw or something. I think that'd be real funny.
The Hell in a Cell segment.
Yes.
Is probably, I would say, what you're most known for, especially recently. That really blew up. When you were in the middle of the ring for that segment with Punk and McIntyre just a couple months ago, did you think it was going to blow up the way it did? And was there a particular tweet or post about it that you liked? And was there one that you really disliked?
All right. Well, to answer the first part.
And why was it the ones claiming that you were a 50-year-old man?
Somebody said I was a 50-year-old man.
there were people, but you didn't see those. There's people claiming that like some people were saying this man's about to be his moment and have his moment, and then said this man's about to be pushing 50. So, and I was like, wow, that's offensive because he definitely doesn't look 50.
I would hope not.
Yeah.
People think I'm younger than my actual age, but and that's the thing. I'll answer the first part second. I'll answer the second part. I don't. There were people that sent me funny memes right away. A friend of mine that works for the company sent me a meme of me as Iron Man, which I thought was hilarious.
Okay, that works. Yeah.
But then
I can see that.
Yeah, but then and this is why I don't pay attention or really. I'll go on social media a lot. I don't try to look at all the comments, especially when it comes to that, because if I'm talking to my peers, they, will tell me I did a good job. But according to social media, I was in the business for myself, or who's this guy think he is? I'm like, screw them.
The one guy that actually
like a person that read all the negative comments.
I didn't read all of them.
The
Just,
one
I saw
guy
a few,
that
and was
actually
it.
commits to the part.
Yeah.
This is what social media latches onto.
Mm-hmm.
So
Right.
you were unfairly criticized, I believe.
Well, but that's
That's part of the
that's
business.
But it is what it is. That's
Yeah.
why they're on social media, and they're
Oh,
not in the
that's why
business.
you're in the cage. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean-
All right. I did not say that. But no, to go back to the first part. No, I'm in the moment, man. I'm in the moment, and the camera's right on me. So I got to do something.
Yeah.
Not like have my arms crossed over like so many other guys do.
Yeah.
You know? Plus, we're in the cell. Punk is intense.
Sure.
And I'm thinking of the many months of their feud. Who's to say that he's not going to barge through and jump at Drew McIntyre?
Sure.
So, I mean, in the moment, I felt it. I don't have any other real way to say it than just we were feeling it, you know? And, you know, it was good to get, you know, good recognition by Ice Cube's son, Porter O'Shea.
Yeah.
That's when like somebody sent me that. I'm like, oh, cool. I mean,
Yeah.
thank you very much for
And
that.
I think that's what helped it blow up for sure.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, it was cool, man.
I've never met the guy in person, but thank you for that. He didn't have
But
to do that.
also, while you were in there, I think I sent it to you also. I took
Yes.
a picture of you doing that, and so I had no idea that everybody else in America was also taking a picture of you on their TV. But I was doing it just because, oh, man, this is cool. My friend's in the ring right now, and he's actually the one committed to the part. And so I thought that was great. And then I see other people started posting about it. And then I saw all of a sudden there was like 7 million likes and, and retweets and all this kind of stuff. Man, that was cool. I wanted to ask you, who's the best you've worked with, though?
I mean,
I won't ask you who was the worst.
I mean, in terms of like in that environment.
Yeah. Like, just it doesn't have to be like Punk or Drew. Maybe like there was a ref that gave you a good signal or something, or who helped, or just a cool ass person.
There's so many. There's so many great people, talented and
In
people that look out for
WWE
you.
right now,
WWE.
you've been doing this for like how many years as an extra?
a
10?
while.
Okay, so
Yeah.
I'm sure you've been through a lot of shit, but also a lot of good things. So just give me one good person that
Okay.
helped along.
I mean, I gotta give props to Jason Ayers,
Okay.
referee for SmackDown.
Yeah.
You know, he's somebody that got hired through Extra Work, and he'll take the time to talk with all the extras. Because I mean, it's a much different environment now than it was the very first time I did Extra Work back in 2010. That was like towards the end of the old guard, but that was back in the era where nobody talked to the extras. Matter of fact, kind of treated like, well, why are you here? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I remember one time, Bryan Danielson, Daniel Bryan, whatever name you wanna call him, was talking to us, but well, mostly because Bobby Fish was there, and I saw guys, you know, giving him the stink look, like, what are you doing talking to those guys? And I do seem to recall somebody did ask, I don't know who it was, but he said, hey, like pointing to Bobby Fish, this is my friend, you know, which I thought was really cool.
Yeah.
And in that environment, I mean, God, that was a much different dog eat dog, Shark Tank type of environment. Nowadays, you know, extras are treated very well. I mean, they are included because they are a part of the show, whether it's for a very small bit, or, you know, if they're there, if we're not doing anything.
Sure.
People still go out of their way to talk to us, and it helps that a lot of the talent in WWE now, especially the top talent, they came from the independents, so they know what it's like.
Yeah.
Like the culture has shifted in a much better way,
And that's a good thing.
and absolutely is a good thing.
Yeah, and you know, like, listen, whether it's a WWE or the Indies or wherever you are in life, you know, sometimes you're gonna have your bad and your, you know, softer days, and other times you're gonna have your nice and harder days, and that's just, you know, what it comes down to, right? I mean, so you got to take them as they come, and let's get a couple more questions in here before we wrap up. Let's see, what do we have here? Dalton Falder says, I'm a still newish trainee, 3 to 4 months in, who is struggling heavily with footwork and body control. What do you recommend doing outside of training to improve in those areas? Boy, what's the best advice can I give you for footwork and body control?
I would say lose some weight.
I mean,
You
yeah.
can't have control of your body if you're overweight. I don't know what this guy looks like or anything.
And I don't know either. So I can personally speak on this because, Greg, you remembered me when I started training.
Yeah.
And my first year or two in business, I gained a substantial amount of weight. My footwork wasn't the best, probably because I was pretty freaking fat.
Yeah.
But to bounce off what Aaron said, yes, lose some weight, but how you do it, whether it is through TNC Health or any other avenue, nutritional coach to help you to lose weight, track your calories, whatever, that's going to help you. And what helped me too, as well, if you're having trouble with any sort of like footwork motions, practice it outside of wrestling, even if it's just pivoting. How you get up from wrestling. I did that a lot.
Yeah.
In the gym, like the old, like you're laying on your back and you're in the stance. I did that quite a bit because that was a weakness of mine.
Yeah.
So
Well,
I would say I would recommend those strategies.
I would say too, I mean, it's a physical sport, and I think one of the best things that I did that helped me for my wrestling training was, strength and conditioning training, working out in the gym, especially with free weights. Like, you want to talk about learning body control, understanding your body and what you can physically handle. I think there's nothing better to do than to do like free weights and figure out that type of thing. It involves footwork, placement, and moving the wrong way could be detrimental. There's workouts that I avoid because I know that it's going to hurt me with all the physicality that I deal with in the ring. And you know what? I mean, listen, outside of just your own cardio conditioning and weight training, I mean, listen, there's not a lot you could do outside of the ring that I could recommend. The bottom line is keep going to training, keep showing up in the stuff that you aren't good at as far as footwork goes. Keep at it. Repetition is key.
Yep, I think that just to close on that thought, I think that you laid that out really, really well. I mean, you weren't an athlete when you got into wrestling. I wasn't either. So just repetition, don't give up.
David Jarka says favorite candy. I'm going to go with the
Lorraine.
Big and Chewy Nerds. Favorite candy, without a doubt. Ben?
It's got to be the classic, the Reese's Peanut Butter Cups. They used to make an inside-out Reese's Peanut Butter Cups like almost 20 years ago where the peanut butter was on the outside and the chocolate in. I thought that was better than the original, and I wish Reese's would bring it back. They'll bring out the big cups. Look at, stuff it with potato chips and put pretzels in. I'm stealing your guys' stupid, voice thing.
Calm down, Ben.
We'll do that, but we're not going to bring back the inside-out Reese's.
Maybe they will. Maybe they're building it up. I see all kinds of those Reese's cups. I just bought for a friend. There's Christmas cookie Reese's cups.
Oh, I didn't see that.
It's like
terrible?
little. I don't know. I don't eat chocolate.
Oh,
So as somebody who can't eat chocolate, my favorite candy bar is a Payday. Peanut butter, peanuts, whatever that is, and caramel.
Okay.
So, yeah, I go with that. And then any THC-laced gummies.
All right. Juan Ortiz says, is MJF versus AJ going to be a feud of 2025? I don't suppose you mean AJ Styles. So,
I think he means a big boom, AJ.
I know what
My
he means.
choice for wrestler and entertainer of the year.
Is that going to be wrestler of the year for 2025? Alpacy of the year 2020? Yep. Are we calling it right now?
Yep.
All right.
Corey Frizzle asks, did he do it? I don't know, Ben. You've been watching a lot of Diddy. What do you think?
Yes.
What do you think? He,
Over and over again.
and how?
With lots of baby oil.
No, I just mean, was it just easy or?
What's your opinion on Jay-Z, Aaron? Is Jay-Z involved?
I have no idea. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of people that are going to be exposed, that were exposed, that will be exposed. But I still like his rap music. I was looking up my top 5 artists of the year on Spotify and YouTube Music.
Yeah.
And Jay-Z was in there at number 4, and I was surprised to see that.
Wow.
I must listen to a lot of Jay-Z. Greggy?
What?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm
Next
sorry.
question.
Let's end it with this one. We got a lot of questions, but we've gone pretty long today. At this point with the bonus podcast, we've gone 3 hours. So we'll end it with this. Brian Hallis says, "Was there ever a time when you felt unsafe in the ring?" Yeah. I mean, like, there's been times where I felt unsafe before I actually got in the ring. Like, you could sometimes, when you talk with someone before a match, when you're planning it, you could tell right away if this person gets it or if they don't. And based on things that are said, red flags will pop up. And I guess, the one that comes to mind right away, and like, listen, I love him now, didn't really know him back then. But when I worked my first gathering of Juggalos back in 2013, I worked Briar Wellington, and he was drunk as fuck.
Oh, boy.
And I had never worked with someone that was completely wasted. And I remember I was annoyed because I didn't want to go out there and wrestle someone that was blitzed like that. And so I fucking get out there, and I've been injured in matches by guys. I've been concussed. I almost died because of guys in the ring. And so, I'm a smaller guy. I got to take care of myself. And, I was chopping him as hard as I could. I was forearming him. And Briar could remember the spots, but he didn't know where we were at that point. And we would do a spot, and he forgot that we did the spot. So there would be a point where I hit him with the one knee code breaker, or the Shark Boy knee, as I call it. Shark Boy used to do it. Boom, I hit him with the Shark Boy knee. He sells back to the corner. I come in for the Miz clothesline. I'm going up for a 10 punch, and he goes, "Hey, brother, when's that Shark Boy knee coming?" I was like, "I just did it to you." And I'm like punching him in the head as hard as I can. And then we got to the back, and he's like, "Brother, you're really laying in those shots like I owed you money or something." And I was just like, yeah. Like, I was just happy that I got through it, but I was like, I was pissed off. Like, I didn't want to even go out there. But I knew if I was going out there, I was going to make sure that I was not going to get hurt because someone wanted to be unprofessional and unsafe. So that was one of the most unsafe times I felt. But again, I think Briar was in a different place back then. Me and Briar are very cool now. So, Ben, anything that comes to mind? Unsafe situation for you?
Yeah, I've had a couple. I'm blanking on his name right now. It doesn't matter. One of these guys that have been wrestling 20, 25 years, never gone anywhere. Mm-hmm. But, because that they were trained or with somebody, that means they think they're somebody. It was supposed to, at this local wrestling promotion I worked for at the time, he was going to hit me with a move, right? And then it was supposed to lead up to something later on down the road. He gave me like a Rikishi driver, right?
Okay.
But he spiked me, and my neck was seriously hurting for 3 days afterwards.
Oh, God.
I actually just texted a buddy of mine that doesn't wrestle anymore, of who this guy was, because he had a match with him and damn near screwed him up. Like, just unsafe, I'm talking.
Yeah.
Like, clotheslines that, are not in safe spaces, like slamming them unsafely. Another guy that I'm thinking of off the top of my head, Judge Tough Love. I'll never forget that name.
Yeah, how could you forget? It ranks right up there with Elmer Bounce. It's a name I just made up. Definitely not a real name, but continue.
A guy that I wrestled for, like, my first year in wrestling, and again, another big jack guy that was not properly trained. Like, when he gave me strikes, it was okay. It didn't hurt, but when he slammed me, it was awful.
Yeah.
And it doesn't help that it was in a really crappy ring, too. And another element to this guy, Judge Tough Love, he came out with a real sledgehammer.
Oh, okay.
And
Well, you wouldn't come out with a fake sledgehammer. Don't be a fucking pussy.
yeah, well, clearly, I mean,
Jesus Christ.
giving away the act there.
Yeah.
You know, after the match, he gives me a shot, even protecting, quote unquote, the sledgehammer into the gut.
Mhm.
It hurt like hell. I shouldn't have agreed to it.
Yeah.
But I was a year or two in, and you blindly go with the vet says, right? Because
Sure.
they're the vet.
Yeah.
Well, boy, you know how wrong I was.
Aaron, most unsafe you've ever felt in a match, and why was it against Rod Destiny?
No.
What?
I'm very fortunate that as a manager, you kind of get to pick and choose the spots,
Yeah.
you know, and the people that you work with. So I never really felt, the only time I really felt unsafe was, I think, when I was out there with New Jack.
Really?
And
Of
I
all
was his
people.
manager and his
Oh.
friend. But the aura, I mean, you've seen the videos. He stabs people for real.
Yeah.
He hits people with softball bats for real. So, yeah, that's probably the only time I ever really felt unsafe. And also the only time I ever actually carried a legitimate weapon on me. And it was because I was worried that, you know, shit may get real.
So I have a story to share. It has to do with a knife, not with New Jack.
Uh-huh.
But I was in a 8-man tag at XICW one time, and you guys know DBA, how he carries a knife in his boot too. And I remember right before the match started, somehow his knife fell out of his boot.
First of all, I didn't know he carried a knife in his boot.
Well, now you know.
Okay.
I know
And-
he carried one. He carried a gig on him, and he got JT.
He sure did.
But, like, somehow the knife fell out, and Jimmy Jacobs was on my team, and he told me, "Hey, Ben, stay out. I don't want you going into the ring." And he yelled at DBA to put away the knife before we got in the ring because, you know, unsafe, which eventually happened. But, the guy I was thinking of, Rick Matrix is his name. Does that name sound familiar?
Yeah, it does.
It
For
sounds
me, it
familiar,
does.
But I don't.
He was super unsafe. And,
He's
like,
a big guy?
yeah.
Yeah, I know him.
Really crazy, too.
Yeah. Pennsylvania area?
Yes.
Yeah, I know him.
Yes.
Yeah, I never worked with him, but I was on shows with him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He only gave me the one move, and he spiked me.
Yeah.
Like, oh, it was one of the only times I said to a promoter, I don't know if I want to work with this guy.
Yep.
Awful. Well, what a sad way to end the show this week. But hey, we had some fun at some points. And we delivered this podcast the only way that we know how. Nice, but also hard.
Well, that's the kind of kiss I was going to ask for to end this.
Well, that's what
Very
we'll have
special
after we do the plugs here. Hey, make sure you subscribe to the podcast, YouTube, Spotify, iTunes, where you download the podcast. Support us on Patreon. It's the best way to do so. Patreon.com/Iron Wrestling. Follow us on social media at Iron on Wrestling. You can see my Goldberg Christmas ornament.
That's
Aaron
so
got me a
classic.
couple years ago, where he looks completely butt-ass naked. And I still need to know, should I get a piece of corn or a corn on the cob to put next to Goldberg, but do it the long way?
The long way.
That's
Yes.
the way Goldberg likes it. Follow me on social media. I'm at Gregory Iron on X, at Gregory_Iron on Instagram.
You still
Facebook.
doing that, X?
Occasionally I retweet stuff. Facebook.com/Gregory Iron. I'm sorry, the Handicapped Hero. That's what I am on Facebook. It's getting late. Cameo, if you want a shout out of some sort. ProWrestlingTees.com/Gregory Iron, where you can get the brand new, limited time only, inspirational deathmatch wrestler shirt. You can also get a bunch of shirts I'll never print again. Aaron shirts, Iron on Wrestling shirts, Rod Destiny shirts. You can book me on my social media platforms for pro wrestling motivational speaking and pro wrestling seminars. Ben Boone, what would you like to plug?
Well, I'm on the gram, Instagram, bboonpalicki. I'm on X. I don't really post much there. What is it? Benjamin Boone 1. And then Facebook, you can find me on Benjamin Boone or my real name, Ben Palicki. You can also find out about my real estate services as well on there. ProWrestlingTees.com/Benjamin Boone. A bunch of shirts that I'll never print again. May never be print again after next year. We'll see. But I got that store, so if you're so inclined, I'm on Cameo. Find me on there. That's all I got, brother. What do you got,
Hey,
Aaron?
if I get a cameo from you, will Adrian show up?
For an extra fee.
Oh, okay. I thought maybe I could get a twofer. All right.
I'll give
I'm
you a
only on
twofer.
Blue Sky. And that's at Fair to Air. That's it. I'm shutting everything else down, brothers.
All right.
You're going to be off the grid?
I'm off the grid.
Off the grid. Well, I think there's nothing else to do than to give you all a goodbye kiss, deep and hard.
Oh, wow. Deep. You added deep to it. It was just nice before.
I thought it was good and hard, too.
Okay.
Let's go.
All right.
Mwah!
Bye-bye.
Boy.